Hello, all my joyful creators. Welcome to Wednesday on the Hook with Cynthia. My name is Cynthia with Cynthia's Joyful Creations, and this is my yarn studio. And here is our little ladybug friend to start our day off. So I'm going to go ahead and get the timer started. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. It is so good to have you here today. So what is Wednesday on the Hook? Well, Wednesday on the Hook is just a time set aside every week for 1 hour for us to just crochet on whatever suits our fancy, because we have such busy, crazy, hectic lives, and sometimes we don't stop to take time for ourselves. And if we are working on all kinds of projects for other people, sometimes we neglect ourselves. So Wednesday is a time to just work on whatever you want to. It may be a gift for somebody. It may be something for yourself. Whatever it is, let's spend the next hour working on it. So if you can tell, I'm wearing this beautiful shawl, and this was made by my dear friend Bree from Bree's Little Crochet Corner. Little Crochet Corner. I'm so used to calling her Bree, I don't think about her channel. But she has like become a sister to me, and so this is a shawl that she made me, and I love it, and it goes perfect with my outfit today. So, and it is chilly here. Oh my gosh, where is our spring and our summer? Definitely by now we are definitely experiencing weather in the 80s and maybe the 90s, but we are still getting some weather in the 70s, and the wind is whipping out there. I keep hearing it hit the house, and I keep thinking, oh my gosh, somebody is outside, but it's not. It's just the wind, and it's really strong. Okay, so what am I working on today? I'm working on a baby blanket, and let me stop what I'm doing so I can show you. Let me pull this out just a little bit so I don't lose any stitches. It's just as simple. I'm just doing half double crochets, but let's see if I can get this on camera. And this is the colorway so far. And all of this is some of the yarn that I have been collecting from my Crochet Society boxes. So this is all Bella Cocoa yarn, and this particular color that I'm putting on is her Bella Cocoa crochet, and this is Irresistible Aran, and it is called Glacier, and it is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, and I love this. The next color that I'm hoping I'll get to start today is some of her super soft chunky, and it is in the color, and it's 100% premium acrylic, and it is in the colorway Peppermint. And I believe all of her yarn is made in Turkey. Let me look here. Yes, all of her yarn is made in Turkey. And if you're interested in any of the other colors that I have on here, I can share those with you. Just let me know in the comment section. And if I think about it, I will go back and add it in the description box. All right. So I do have a couple projects that are finished, and I believe I showed you the lacy blanket last week. Yes. Ooh. And I did finish the green blanket that I was working on. with the Stitch Studio by Nicole yarn. And so I will take a few minutes right here to show you the pictures of that. I hope you enjoyed those pictures. I will tell you that when I made that green blanket originally, it was the first time I had ever used really any kind of chunky yarn above a medium 4 weight. And so that project was kind of a learning process for me, meaning that I used a size 6mm hook, which was definitely a little bit too small for that yarn. Now, my husband really likes it. He likes it being, you know, kind of more the compact stitch and whatnot. And that was great. It was hard to actually crochet because the yarn was constantly coming off the hook because the hook was too small. But nonetheless, I did it, and he's happy with it. It's a blanket he's going to use, so that's all that matters. But knowing what I know now and what I did not know then, if I crochet anymore with that size, you know, yarn or that particular yarn, should I find it again, because I have come to learn that even though it wasn't AC Moore yarn, that there are other sites that sell it, and of course it's under a different name, but I will definitely use a larger hook with that yarn. And I love the orange blanket that I showed you last week, and definitely like it better with the bigger hook. So, and the other project that I finished was the crocheted textured cluster stitch blanket, and that was on Yarn Joy Adventures, and that video will be coming out this Sunday. I apologize that it did not go out last Sunday, but you know, I'm still in this healing state, and sometimes I can only do what I can do, because some days, you know, are better than others, but for the most part I have really great days. And then every once in a while I just have a really, really bad day. And for example, yesterday I was doing PT and I had a couple pops that happened in my knee, and my leg just got extremely tired, and it gave out and buckled, and then it was extremely swollen. The leg is still swollen. That swelling just hasn't gone down since surgery. And I know that it's just a matter of time and waiting and healing and all of that. I mean, I am seeing progress, not as quickly as I'd like, but nonetheless, it left that knee in a lot of pain yesterday, so I absolutely accomplished nothing. And while that's frustrating at times, I know that it's part of the process to getting better and being a better me. And so when that happens, I am learning to listen to my body, which is something I'm not very good at. I'm usually a very stubborn person, and I tend to push past things in order to get things done. And I'm learning that sometimes the things that I'm trying to get done are not as important as taking care of my body. So if anything, that's one of the biggest things I've learned on this journey. So God is finally starting to get through to my little stubborn self. But so let me show you that blanket. It will air this coming Sunday once again in its complete form, as well as show you the things that we're going to be doing over the next couple weeks under that series. And we are going to start working on some projects that will help accessorize our kitchens. So if you want to do a little bit of a makeover on your kitchen, you'll definitely want to join me on Sundays for those videos. And I do have that blanket right here, so let me stop what I'm doing for just a minute and grab that blanket. And again, this was using the crocheted textured cluster stitch, and then I put a little peacoat border around the end of it, and this is it here. So it turned out to be a nice size little baby blanket. And let me fold it so I can get it up closer. And I just put a very simple single crochet border around it using all the colors, and then on the very end I just added these little peacoat stitches. So I love that. Isn't that gorgeous? That texture. Whoops. Let's try this again. Isn't that gorgeous? That textured stitch. All right. And I'm continuing to work on the Longmire blanket, and I've started getting a few things together for our Yarn Joy adventures with the kitchen stuff. But mostly I've been working on this little baby blanket right now, and if you can see right there in that bag is another baby blanket that I am working on, and it is for a young lady who I used to work with at the hotel, and I'm trying to get it finished. Unfortunately, her baby's already been born, but you know, this crazy transition that my life is in, I have to just do things as I can. But I do hope to have it finished, you know, by the end of this week or next week, so I can try and get that to her. I bought her some little baby clothes. I definitely want to try and get those too before the baby outgrows them. But luckily they're a little bit bigger. They weren't like newborn, so she should still be able to wear them. But okay, so what are you working on today? I'd love to know what you're working on. I am finishing up a actually chocolate peanut butter protein shake. Excuse me. That is so good. I'm so thankful for this time, and I'm so thankful that all of you come and join me. Even if I was doing this completely by myself, and I know this is a recorded video, so technically I am, but the idea that hopefully you are setting aside an hour of time and just watching this video as you're working on your project still makes me feel like I'm hanging out with you. And even though I'm talking to a camera physically right now, I still feel like you're here with me. I feel your spirit. And it's just nice. It's just nice to have time that, you know, it's just relaxed. And the only thing different that I would do is I would have some music playing in the background. And sometimes when I crochet, I will watch a YouTube video, because I have several friends that are content creators that put out amazing videos that I enjoy watching and seeing what they're doing and what they're up to and what's going on in their lives. And I learn so much from my friends, and so I would normally have some of that going on in the background, but obviously, you know, due to copyright laws, I can't play any of their YouTube videos or your YouTube videos if you're one of my content friends that are watching this. And same thing with music. So we just sit here together and crochet. And who knows, this video might one day actually go live. We'll see. I am working on some changes in my life, and if that goes how I'm praying it might, then we might start doing these as lives and getting some of you guys to come up and be a part on screen during this hour. Wouldn't that be great? But I'm a creature of consistency, so for now, until I know that that's possible, I am going to continue to record this, because the goal is to try and get back to the hospital, but I am working on a plan B should that no longer be feasible, just due to the amount of time it's taken my body to recover and heal. I did send in some paperwork hoping to request 4 weeks of personal time. I don't know if it will be enough time for them to consider holding on to my job for me, but it's all in the Lord's hands. So I usually try to wait until we have about 30 minutes left to talk about a question. Now, should the day arrive and plan B actually take place in my life as far as work goes, and I have the ability to take this video from a recorded video to a live video, then we will introduce that question a lot sooner in the segment, because then you guys can offer feedback and it's not just me sitting here trying to fill the time, so that you're not literally just sitting here watching me crochet. And technically I don't even think you can see me crocheting. Nope, I am not even on camera. Well, I'm on camera, but my crocheting isn't. It's in my lap. So let me see if I can tilt this camera just a little bit. I think I've got it in lock mode on the tripod, so I can't do that. And I don't want to make you dizzy, so I'll just try to do that and try to... It's getting so big it won't stay on my lap. So let me see if I can make a change there. All right. It's a little bit better. At least now you can see what I'm doing. But yes, that would be nice. But I don't want to do that until I know that that's possible to do every Wednesday. Because currently, you know, with my current job at the ER, I work nights, so I normally am sleeping during the day, and I work every other Wednesday. So the only way to keep this consistent on Wednesdays right now is recorded. And obviously I'm not working, so I could do it live, but I don't like getting used to something or having someone expect something and then it having to change. And I understand, you know, that's how life is. Life is constantly changing. But I don't want to say I'm a creature of habit, because I'm not really a creature of habit. I'm just a person of consistency. Just like I try to put my videos out at certain times, you know, especially when they're repeating segments every week, so that you get used to that schedule, or you know that almost every day you can come on around 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and I will have a video out. Because at this current moment I do have a video that comes out every day at 4 o'clock except Tuesdays. And I do have something, but it's going to be very temporary. But I am going to be putting out, probably starting next week, on Tuesdays at 4. But at best, it will only last about 2 months. Because I received a book from Bree, and it's about angel stories. And so I'm thinking about sharing those stories. But again, it will only last, you know, for the length of the book. And I'm thinking there's at least a good 8 or 9 stories in that book. So 2-3 months, something like that, is all those videos will last. And then of course, whenever I have a special video like Crochet Society unboxing, that comes out on Tuesdays. So, and the only time there might be something different is, you know, at 8 o'clock on Wednesdays, I do have the little premiere reminder for the episodes that we'll discuss on Friday night. And then on Friday night, we have Cup to Hook Conversations at 7 p.m. And then we have our movie time at 9 p.m. And if you have not joined us, I really encourage you to, for just a little bit. You can always come and lurk and bring a project to work on and just listen to us be goofy and silly and, you know, talk about the show. So I'm very excited. We have, including this Friday, we have 4 weeks left of Longmire. And then after that, we will be starting a new series. So if you did not join us for the Longmire, then hopefully you can join us for the new series and start fresh. We are going to start the series called Call the Midwife. And so very excited about that. We will be working on 2 types of baby blankets with the Call the Midwife pattern. And if we happen to finish those projects before the series ends, then we will probably do a Call the Midwife shawl. So we'll just have to see how our time goes. And I will tell you, on my Yarn to Hook Adventures series, they are kind of like crochet alongs, but I'm also going to kind of adapt that a little bit more to either trying to complete the project in one video, and at best have no more than 2 to 3 videos for a project if it's a larger project. But for the most part, I'm going to start trying to get those projects all done in one video so they're not spread out, and that way if, you know, anything happens like this past Sunday, I was not able to get the last part out, somebody's not having to wait so long on me, because I just am sad when you have to do that. But again, none of us have complete control over life, and sometimes life just has a mind of its own. So we just have to adapt and go with the flow. But yeah, I have a pet peeve for me that I don't like to be late anywhere, and I don't like to make people wait on me. So I do understand and value time, and I know everybody's time is precious. So, but you know, this is now going into my second year. I just had my pod anniversary, my 1 year last month, and so I'm still kind of learning, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to put out on my channel and what I think that you guys would want and be interested in. The one thing that I know without a shadow of a doubt is I want people to feel safe. There's no judgment here. Excuse me. It's inclusive. I mean, everyone is welcome. But the biggest thing of all is I want, when you see Cynthia's Joyful Creations, that you automatically think of joy. I want your life to be filled with joy. And so anything I do on my channel, it is to ensure and enhance that each of you find and discover joy. And through that, sometimes we might laugh, we might cry. It's all good. But it doesn't matter who you are, male, female, white, black, Hispanic, you know, Indian, blind, you know, hearing impaired. It doesn't matter. I want you to know that you're always welcome. And I do my best to answer. Well, so far I have answered all my comments, except the ones that I've had to remove, either because they are, you know, inappropriate or they are sexual, and I'm just not going to even have them on my channel. But otherwise, I answer everyone's comments, and I try to address you by name, because I want you to know that I see you, I recognize you, I thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time to be my friend, to hang out with me, and, you know, share your opinions and your thoughts about the content on that particular video. So, again, I understand the value of time, and if you've taken time to hang out with me and spend time with me, then I certainly want to take the time to recognize you and say hello back and thank you for stopping by. So my comments are very important to me because you're important, and I want you to feel that you are important. And then I love the ability to be able to end my comment by reminding you to find the joy in that day. Because it's there. Joy is everywhere around us. Well, let me see where our little friend is. We are almost at our 30-minute mark. So let's go ahead and ask our question for today. And our question is actually inspired by our time together a couple weeks back. And we were talking about, you know, childhood games. And so, what is your favorite childhood game? And what is your favorite childhood board game? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. All of my childhood games, whether they're outside games that we play or board games, I'm clearly not a child anymore. Still love to play them. I love games. I just love, love, love games. And if you like games, then let me take just a few minutes before we get into our question and invite you to come check out a game that happens every Sunday. It's called Blingo. And Veronica with Stills the Show and Chef is our host for that. Lovely, lovely lady, dear friend of mine. And so let me tell you really quick how to play that, and I will make sure in the description box that I include her YouTube channel so that you can come and participate that on Sundays. It starts at 6, but we don't actually start playing the game until around 6:30. And it lasts about 2 hours. But this is what you have to do. You have to choose 6 numbers between 1 and 60. So whichever 6 numbers delight your fancy and you feel are going to be lucky numbers, and as long as they're between 1 and 60, you'll take those 6 numbers and email them to her. Or you can send them to her by Instagram. And again, I will include as much of her information as possible in the description box. And you have to get them to her before 6 o'clock Sunday. Obviously, the earlier you get them to her, the easier it is for her, because she has a good many people playing. And in order to get your name and your numbers written down and ready for the game, it's just courteous to get them to her as quickly as you can. So then when we play the game, she has these little blocks and she'll pull them out and reveal the number. And when all 6 of your numbers have been called, then you type in Blingo. B as in boy, L as in Larry, I as in igloo, N as in Nancy, G as in George, O as in Oscar. Blingo! And not bingo, but blingo, with an L in there. And when you do that, the first person who rings in with Blingo, and indeed all their numbers have been called, they win a prize from Veronica. And you can do a super chat to help her out, because her prizes are rather nice, you guys. And of course, you know, it costs money to get all those prizes, and it costs money to ship them out. So your super chats help with that. But she's so thankful for your help and your support that on Tuesdays she does a drawing from those super chats, and that person also wins a prize. So it's a lot of fun. Now the catch is you have to be there the whole time in order, you know, to win the Blingo. And that only makes sense because you need to hear the numbers called, right? And so until recently, I had not been playing it because Saturday and Sundays are the only days that I get to see my husband because he's off. Now, when I'm working in the ER, I only have every other Saturday and Sunday off. So that time was even more precious to us. But since I told him about it and introduced him to it, we now make it a couples date night. So every Sunday, we definitely have a for sure date night once a week, and we play Blingo together. And so he has his numbers and I have my numbers. And is fun. So maybe it's something you and your spouse can get into. But anyway, I encourage you to come join and participate. And if you don't want to participate, then just come join and bring a project and just hang out with friends. It's a lot of fun. And Veronica is such a sweet gal. She just has an infectious smile and an infectious laugh, and you just can't help but to enjoy her time. So hopefully I hope to see all of you over at Blingo at 6 o'clock p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, hopefully you'll send in your 6 lucky numbers and you'll play. So again, be ready to check out all that information down in the description box below. So, what is your favorite childhood game? You guys, I love games. I love games. I love the competitiveness. I love the strategy. I love the laughter and time spent with the person I'm playing games with. It just is very hard for me to pick a game. I love them all. I just love being with people. And again, the competitiveness, the strategicness, I love all of that. But I love Red Rover. I love Simon Says. Mother May I. Those were some of my favorite outside games. But if I had to pick my favorite out of those, it would definitely be Red Rover. Now, another outside game that I absolutely loved playing as a young girl is Capture the Flag. Have you ever played Capture the Flag? You divide up into groups of teams, and you can have just 2 teams, or you can have smaller groups. You know, it just depends on how many people you've got playing. And I did this a lot with my church as a youth, and then I've done this several times when I myself was a youth minister. But you start off, you have a perimeter that you're playing the game in, and each team has a flag in a section inside that perimeter, and they have people that guard the flag, and then they have people who are trying to go out and capture somebody else's flag. And usually it's played at night, which makes it so much more fun. And it's even great when you can have a big old bonfire going in the middle of your perimeter that before or after you can roast hot dogs and marshmallows on. But anyway, you don't have to have the big bonfire, and you don't have to have the marshmallows or the hot dogs to play the game. It's all just part of the night's events. But yeah, you just are let loose, and you try to see who can get whose flag, and the team that gets the flag first wins. And if you have smaller groups and you have more than 2 groups playing, then you can go until all flags are captured. And if you have more than 2 teams playing, a team that's captured the flag is still playing, so they can capture more than 1 flag. But if your flag is captured, then you're out of the game. So it's fun. It's fun. That's probably one thing I miss the most about being a child is games. When my children were growing up, Friday nights were my favorite because usually there was no homework and we had the weekend and they would get to stay up a little bit later. And so on Fridays, meals were geared towards them, and then, you know, we played games and we watched movies, and I just love that time with my children. Not to mention, again, I like board games. And even now as an adult, I find myself playing games on my phone. And usually it's games that don't require other people. Sometimes it does. Like I like playing backgammon, and I like playing the card game Spades. And those will have live people playing the game with me. And that's pretty cool. But then I also play games that I'm playing against a computer, but nonetheless, it's like I'm playing against opponents. And some of those games that I enjoy playing is a game, it's called, well, let me just open my phone and take a look because I can't remember. I know one of them is called Hearts. It's a card game. A lot of these are card games. Skip 10. It's a version off of Skip-Bo, which is a card game that my family and I've played that many a times with my mom. And Phase Rummy, which is off of like Phase 10 card game. Nerds. Oh my gosh. I love the card game Nerds. I was introduced to it in college, and a lot of my college and my Camp La Vida summer camp friends, we played Nerds. And so I enjoy playing that. And of course, there's 3 other people playing with me on this app, but they're not real people. They're all computer generated. But I enjoy that. I enjoy playing Sudoku. I love playing Mahjong, which is where you match puzzle pieces. And there's another game like that that I like playing, and it's called Tile Connect, where you match different tiles that are alike. So it's like a matching game. I enjoy another game on my phone. It's called Scramble, Kitchen Scramble, where you try to cook things that people are requesting in an amount of time, and you have different goals that you have to try and achieve in that level to pass it. I also love Candy Crush. And I have 2 Candy Crush games. One's called Candy Crush and one's called Candy Crush Soda. And then I also enjoy playing Can You Escape the Room? And you have to find clues and solve puzzles in order to get out of the room. And then I have about 3 games on here that are games where you're given a picture and you have to find objects that are kind of hidden and masked within the room. And then I have one other game on my phone that I really enjoy playing, and it's called Galaxiga. And it's just like Galaxiga, what it was an Atari or a Nintendo game back in the day that I enjoyed playing as a young girl We didn't have computer games back then like we do now. I'm not one who really gets on the computer and plays games, just on my phone or tablet. A lot of them are more your card games or puzzle solving type games. But nonetheless, I enjoy them. Board games. What are some board games I like? Again, it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but I do have one that I will give you as a favorite at the end. But first, I'm going to talk about some of the board games that I really enjoy playing. First off, I'm a very big backgammon fan, but it's hard to find people who know or enjoy playing backgammon. And I love Connect 4. I've played that many, many years with my kids and different youth groups. I love Monopoly. As a child, I've not played it as an adult with my kids or anyone else. I only played it as a child with my brother and my sister, and it was called Operation. I love Candyland. I loved playing Sorry. Oh, what was the one with the popper in the middle? Oh my goodness. We have that game now, and I have played it a lot with my children. Trouble. It is called Trouble. I love Trouble. There was Chutes and Ladders. Ooh. I know one that's really fun. And I would really enjoy it as an adult. And in fact, my husband and I have played it a couple times. And it's called Battleship. I loved playing Simon, the little Simon game, where you follow the color pattern. And then I didn't have these as a child growing up, but we started collecting some of them when we had children of our own. And it's the scenic games where you put a DVD in and you play. Speaking of something like that, I love Trivia Pursuit. I can remember as a young girl growing up and as a young adult playing card games with my mom. We played Rummy, we played Crazy Eights, we played King in the Corner. I just love games. And I'm sure there's so many more that I'm not mentioning. Scrabble, Yahtzee. Oh, what was that one game? My mom and dad got this game, and I ended up getting one. It's like a charades game, but you don't. But there is a charade game. Pictionary. Those are another. This one here, I can't remember just right off. Oh, I just remembered what it is. Taboo, where you try to describe a word without using some words. So that was cool. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now that I mentioned some of those, I'm going to keep what is my favorite game if I had to pick one. But, ooh, it's hard. It's hard because I just love games. And I can't wait to see what some of your favorite games are. Checkers. Oh my gosh, I do love playing checkers. I have even played checkers online with my friend Beverly a time or two. Chess. I have not played chess a lot in my life, but I have played it. Again, that's one of those games where, like backgammon, it's hard to find somebody to play it with you. And then I also remember there are video games that we had growing up. They're not like they are today, but I enjoyed playing Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man, and I could play Pac-Man against my mom. Oh my gosh, we would spend hours just playing Pac-Man against each other, and that was a lot of fun. And let's see, Frogger, Donkey Kong, I remember one of our first gaming systems was an Atari gaming system, and I loved playing tennis on it, and all it was 2 little bars, and you bounced a ball back and forth, and you had to try and keep it going. Nothing compared to the games and the graphics of today's time. Then with my kids, we had some video games of like Toy Story, the Rugrats, and there's times even when they were over at their dad's for the weekend that I would play those games myself while they were gone. It was always hard for me when they were gone. They were and still are so much of my life, although now my husband is my, the one I spend most of my time with, which makes me happy. But my kids were everything, and to be apart from them and to not be in their presence was hard for me. But playing those games, I guess, was not only fun for the reason that I love games, but it also made me feel connected to them when they weren't with me. So, my favorite board game. Like if I had to go to the closet and I could only choose one game, it would be Sorry. I just love that game. And it's easy, that anybody can play. The directions are simple and easy. So I love playing board games as much as I love crocheting. It's just fun for me. Crocheting, I guess, would be more like my individual game. I mean, you can still do it with others, but it's not the same as playing like a board game. It doesn't have the same kind of interaction. or inspire laughter in the same way. And I don't have a lot of people that want to play board games anymore. So I usually, you know, take a little bit of time in the evenings before I go to bed to play games on my phone, which is good for you. They say it helps keep the mind sharp. And I need that because sometimes my memory, woo, it's not the greatest. But it's not because like I don't remember things. I'm just a type of person, and I think this helps a lot in just keeping a lot of stress down in my life. But when something's over with, if it's not really something significant, I just kind of like get rid of it, you know? I guess I'm just constantly cleaning house in my brain, so to speak. But if it's something significant that I really need to remember, I will. Whether it's good or bad. But not hanging on and retaining stuff that I don't feel is significant, I think helps to keep a lot of chaos gone. So, all right, starting a new color. This is such a pretty color too. So yeah, I am real excited, especially since I'm passionate about board games and love them. I really cannot wait to see what you share. It will definitely be fun and interesting. And so I'm excited. That's one of the reasons I love about Veronica's Blingo is I get to play. And my husband plays video games all the time. And I've asked him before, I'm like, well then why do you not like playing games? And he's honest. It's because he doesn't like to lose. I said, well, it's not. I mean, and it is about winning, you know. I get that. It is about winning. But it's not all about winning. It's all about the process and the journey and spending time with people. And anyway, yeah, he's so cute. He doesn't like to lose. I get it. But luckily we have other things that we enjoy doing together, you know, like watching movies. And he will play one game with me. Oh my gosh, I did not mention this game. We have not done it in a while. And so, you know what? Maybe on My Joyful Life, upcoming soon, we'll have to pull it out and play it and do a little videotaping of it. Because it is quite fun to watch the two of us. But Tetris. And it's what makes it so fun is, I mean, he's really good at it. Like, he's really good. But what makes it so fun is every now and then I might actually pull ahead of him and get a level higher than him. But it doesn't last long. He's really good. He has really good hand-eye coordination, which I'm sure has a lot to do with, you know, playing the video games he does on the computer, which is why he's better at playing that than I am. I don't have that great hand-eye coordination, and sometimes playing on the computer, like those type of games, the movement makes me nauseous. Like I feel like I got vertigo or something. And so that's our time. I was fixing to say I'm having a hard time finding the center of my yarn here. Like I got a lot of guts pulled out. But I finally found it. So I'm going to get this attached on before we close here. But yes, that would be very interesting. So you'll have to let me know if you would be interested in a little segment on My Joyful Life of Mr. Joyful, Mr. Todd, and I playing Tetris together. So, wow. Yep, that'll have to be that would be fun. But we do, and we have to set a timer, because we will end up playing that game for hours. And it's like, oh my gosh, we need to go to bed, you know, or we need to stop and get something to eat. It's just so much fun. But, and for me, like I said, it's about the process. It's about the journey. I enjoy the company. So, all right. Well, I don't want this going over an hour too much, because I like to try and keep it down to no more than an hour. So I just wanted to get that started so I could show you that new color, which it's not showing up as well. But again, I will more than likely have this blanket finished by the time we come together next week. So, all right. Well, this was fun, going down memory lane and talking about board games, and of course crocheting. Crocheting is always fun. I thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you have enjoyed this time together. Again, I look forward to seeing what your favorite board games are, and if you're ever in the neighborhood, you know, I would love to always have you come visit, and we'll play board games. Or if you want, we can just visit, go yarn shopping, watch a movie. But yeah, I just think board games, you know, connect people. And closing, my children had introduced me a little under a year and a half ago to a game that they play, and I always forget the name of it. I think it's called Cards Against Humanity. It's definitely an adult game, but even though sometimes it gets flushing and embarrassing, nonetheless, we laugh through it, and my kids enjoy it. And I think sometimes they enjoy putting mom in awkward questions, but nonetheless, you get to know each other very well. And yeah, I've enjoyed playing that with all three of my boys and their friends. So I've even learned a few things about my husband playing that game that I didn't quite know. Not necessarily bad, but just, you know, But anyway, I love it. So, all right, you guys, well, take care. Have a great week. And I look forward to meeting you right here, same time next Wednesday. And have your projects ready. All right? Well, be joyful. Stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations. And I will see you next Wednesday for Wednesday on the Hook. Bye.